We like to imagine that the modern world is bound by unyielding laws, ironclad contracts, and absolute mathematical precision. We trust our institutions, our legal systems, and our governments to operate with infallible logic. But history reveals a deeply unsettling truth. The colossal machinery of global power can be thrown entirely off balance, not by a grand conspiracy or a catastrophic war, but by something as fragile and invisible as a single stroke of ink. This is the fascinating story of how a single missing punctuation mark fractured a nation's economy and cost millions of dollars. It was late 19th century America, an era of booming industrial expansion, complex legislation, and rapidly growing government bureaucracy. Lawmakers in Washington were drafting sweeping tariff regulations designed to tax imported goods and protect domestic markets. Every word, every clause, and every line of text was meticulously debated by politicians and legal scholars to ensure absolute clarity before being written into federal law. When the final tariff bill was printed and signed into law in 1872, it contained a massive list enumerating hundreds of taxable items. Among the rows of commodities, ranging from wool and iron to agricultural produce, was a specific entry concerning foreign fruit imports. The intention of Congress was clear and straightforward. Certain types of plants and tropical products were meant to be taxed heavily to generate state revenue. However, right in the middle of the critical section governing imported plants, a careless typesetter made a microscopic omission. In the original manuscript prepared by the committee, a small comma had been carefully placed between two specific words in the phrase listing exempted goods. But when the final text was set and typed for printing, that single comma vanished. The resulting text read entirely differently. Instead of separating two distinct categories of items, the missing punctuation fused them into a single, legally binding definition. Under the strict interpretation of the altered text, a massive category of commercial goods that Congress explicitly intended to tax was suddenly legally classified as tax-free. For over a year, astute importers noticed the loophole ships unloaded massive cargoes of foreign goods, legally bypassing tariffs that the government desperately needed. By the time federal authorities realized the catastrophic legal error, millions of dollars in revenue had already vanished into private pockets. Congress was forced into an embarrassing emergency session just to fix a missing comma, but the damage to the national treasury was already done. This bizarre financial disaster is a stark reminder of our profound fragility. We build towering empires of law and commerce, yet we remain entirely at the mercy of minute details. A single missing mark on a page can alter the destiny of nations. History is not always shaped by grand strategies. Sometimes it is unraveled by a speck of ink. Subscribe to Scrapbook of History to uncover how the smallest details define the fate of the world.